we are here to help entrepreneurs either start business or grow your already existing business. I'm here with an entrepreneur guru, my friend Liddell.
Typically, tangible assets hold their value versus non-tangible assets. I'm not against stocks at all, period. I just like for my money to be backed by something that's tangible, physical, that I can go see it and feel it's mine.
What it do, y'all? It's your partner. Y'all know what time it is. It's the Countermove Thursday. Before we move forward, take a picture for your mama because I still look fresh, cold, clean. Guys, let's move forward. Guys, today we're going to dive into a topic that is near and dear to my heart because it kind of touches my family. It really does. And this is the issue of border security. Okay. When I was running for public office, this is one of the things that I actually ran on is to secure our southern border because I'm actually in Texas. And so I wanted to ask this question because I've been seeing a lot of news. You have a lot of candidates talking about the southern border. So I thought it'd be wise for us to sit down and look at and see if look at both arguments to see, okay, do we really have do we really have a crisis at our southern border? And for me, again, it's near and dear to my heart because my wife's family lives on the border, literally in Del Rio. And so they've told me some stuff. I've seen some pictures. I've seen some videos that tell a story, but you know how the media can be. But I wanted to kind of look at it for myself and invite you into how I look at things. And let's reason together and see exactly what's going on. So, hey, I think it'd be wise for us to answer this question. Do we have a crisis at our southern border? I think it'd be wise for us to begin with this question here. What has the Biden administration said concerning the southern border security? Okay, what have they said? Let's look at what they said. Let's look at what came out of their mouths. Okay, here we go. There is a video here of our Vice President Kamala Harris. She's speaking on NBC, and I believe this is Meet the Press. And this reporter, I think his name is Chuck Todd, actually asked a good question. And this is kind of a good exchange. Let's see what she actually says about answering this question. Do we have a crisis at our southern border? What has the Biden administration been saying concerning the security? Let's see what she says. Let's go.
Across this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration. But there are still a lot of problems that we are trying to fix, given the deterioration that happened over the last 4 years. We also...
Notice she answered the question right up front. Good question by Chuck Todd. And she said, we have a secure border. That's what she said. We have a secure border. We're going to see.
Have to put in place a law and a plan for a pathway for citizenship.
That was the Vice President there telling NBC's Chuck Todd that the border is secure. In a sit-down interview for Meet the Press, Kamala Harris was confident the southern border of the United States was secure, given that 2 million people crossed it for the first time ever this year. VP Harris said the US has a secure border, and that's a priority for any nation, but there are still issues that need to be fixed. She then shot back with a snide remark about the deterioration about the last 4 years, insinuating that the Trump administration could be to blame. That's a pretty brave comment to make, considering during Trump's time in office, there were over...
So now this is Sky News. They're going to do a comparison of the Trump and Biden administration. Don't want to go there. I just want to focus on exactly what Vice President Harris said. She says, our border is secure. Okay, well, what has our Secretary of Homeland Security actually said? What has he said concerning our border? Okay, let's go back and see exactly what he actually said as well. He actually did a video. He actually did an interview, I believe, on ABC. And again, great interview. She pressed him. She really did. And I think that because she pressed him, I don't think he kind of liked that, but it's okay. I think it'd be wise for us to look at it and see exactly what he said concerning what's going on. These are great questions by the journalists. to see what's really going on with our border security. Okay, here we go.
Now is the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. Good morning, Mr. Secretary. I want to start right there. We heard the sheriff say it, the governor say it, and the migrants I spoke to say it. They are coming across because they believe they will be welcomed under the Biden administration. You said yourself 3 weeks ago, we're not.
Now, she said that the migrants coming across are saying that they're coming across because they believe they'll be welcomed under the Biden administration. This is what the migrants are saying. So let's see how our secretary responds.
We're not saying don't come. We're saying don't come now. President Biden had a stronger message later, but the messages are mixed at best, Mr. Secretary.
Martha, good morning. The message is quite clear. Do not come.
So he's saying do not come. That conflicts with what the migrants are actually saying. The migrants are saying that they believe that they'll be welcomed when they come. Our secretary is saying do not come.
The border is closed. The border is secure.
He really echoed what our vice president said as well, is our border secure, our border is closed. That's what he's actually saying. Let's keep going.
We are expelling families. We are expelling single adults under the CDC's authority, under Title 42 of the United States Code, because we are in the midst of a pandemic, and that is a public health imperative. We are encouraging children not to come. Now is not the time to come. Do not come. The journey is dangerous. We are building safe, orderly, and humane ways to address the needs of vulnerable children.
Now stop there. Now this conflicts again with what the reporter in this video just said. The migrants are saying that they believe they'll be welcomed when they come across the border. Our secretary is saying do not come, it's dangerous. Do not come, our border is secure. Again, it conflicts with what the reporter just said that the migrants actually are saying. Let's keep going.
Do not come.
I know you're trying to get that message out now, but your team was also briefed by career professionals at DHS during the transition about the possibility of this crisis.
So what she's saying is during the transition from the Trump administration to the Biden administration, career professionals in law enforcement, specifically in Homeland Security, briefed our secretary and also the team as well concerning this exact problem. Listen to what she says.
You yourself say we are on pace to have one of the largest migrant surges in 20 years. Why were you not prepared for this?
Great question. And she's also saying that there's an increase, an uptick in the amount of crossings coming across. So this conflicts with what our secretary just said about it's being closed, don't come, our border secure. This is exactly what this the interviewer is actually saying here on ABC.
Martha, let me be clear. We have seen large numbers of migration in the past. We know how to address it. We have a plan. We are executing on our plan, and we will succeed. This is what we do. But one thing.
So I have to ask this question: if he's saying that they have a plan, they're executing their plan, the plan seems to conflict with what he's saying concerning our borders closed, our borders secure. Because from what the reporter is saying, she's saying that this is I believe the biggest crossings in the long period of time that people have actually seen. So my question is, what is the plan? Because it conflicts with our secretary saying and our vice president saying that our border secure, it's closed.
One thing is also clear, that it takes time. And why does it take time now? Why is it especially challenging and difficult now? Because the entire system under United States law that has been in place throughout administrations of both parties was dismantled in its entirety by the Trump administration. So
he's now saying that their plan is to rework the system because the prior administration basically wounded the system itself. That's what he's saying. At the exact same time, he's saying that the border's closed, the border's secure. I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of confused here. Which one is it?
So we are rebuilding the system as we address the needs of vulnerable children who arrive at our borders. And that is what it is
Mr. Secretary,
all about. It is about
you knew
vulnerable
this coming
children.
in.
Good interview.
It's exactly about vulnerable children. You have approximately 5,200 children currently being held in adult border facilities well over the 2019 peak during the Trump administration. They're only supposed to stay there for 72 hours, but they've been there for more than 10 days, 650 kids, and it's getting worse. Let me read you a tweet from Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat from Connecticut, who was with you on a trip down here.
Interesting.
He said, just left the border processing facility, hundreds of kids packed into big open rooms.
Wow.
In a corner, I fought back tears as a 13-year-old girl sobbed uncontrollably, explaining through a translator how terrified she was, having been separated from her grandmother and without her parents.
Wow.
Murphy said these are facilities you wouldn't want to put your child in for more than 10 minutes. I know you say you have a plan now, but again, how did this happen? You knew there was a pandemic before. HHS had failed to do this before as well under Obama, under President Trump. So how do you speed this up, and how did this happen?
That is a great question, great unpacking, and she's pressing them pretty hard here. I got to give her a hand clap of praise here. It's good.
Martha, it takes time. We all know what happened to that 13-year-old.
Well, I got to pause here. I keep hearing our secretary saying it takes time, but in the same breath, also say that our border is secure, it is closed, do not come. And the reporter is saying, you're not prepared. You knew this going in. What is the plan? I have not heard a detailed plan at all, period. What I've kind of heard from our secretary is our border's closed, our border's secure, do not come. We have a plan. We're trying to fix what Trump did before and give us some time. I am thoroughly confused. I have to be honest with you. I really am, because he's conflicted himself in this. Okay. I mean, guys, I'm trying to be as even kill as I can now. Let's go to another interview from our press secretary. She actually did an interview as well at the White House, and it was concerning this exact question. This exact question. So let's go to her and see what she's saying about the border as well. Okay. All right. Again, let's just see what she says. Here we go.
Million encounters, breaking last year's record. In the last month alone, fentanyl seizures are up 200%, and we're on pace to break that record also this year. So how is the border secure?
So we see record seizures of fentanyl at the border, so we're actually catching fentanyl before it enters the country. So that's how we see that. Look, as far as the border, we're taking unprecedented action. We had to fix something that was broken, especially by the last administration.
So it sounds like she is echoing what our secretary is saying concerning the Trump administration messed up the system. So they're trying to fix what they're saying the Trump administration actually wounded. So, hey, let's what we're talking about.
We've secured record levels. This is what we have been able to do of funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Remember, many Republicans voted against that. Many of them who would like to invite me to the border have actually voted against that. We've made over 3,000 arrests as part of a first of its kind anti-smuggling campaign. We've installed border technology and set up joint patrols with Mexico and Guatemala to catch catch traffickers. We've got Mexico to agree to pay $1.5 billion to improve border processing and security through smart, proven border management solutions. And the president brought 20 world leaders together to collectively manage migration flows across Western Hemisphere. Compare that to the Trump administration, which largely just tried to build a wall, an ineffective wall, along the border and couldn't even finish that in 4 years. We're certainly doing a lot more to secure the border and could be doing even.
Now, okay, what she's saying now is she's saying that she really echoed what our secretary said, okay, concerning they're trying to basically fix what they're communicating the Trump administration wounded the system. And then she went through what they're currently doing to kind of curtail or fix this, okay? So she's giving a little bit more substance in what they're trying to do. In a moment, we're going to see if what they're doing is working. And so don't you worry. We're going to unpack this a little bit more, okay? All right. Now, but it seems like what she's doing, she's really just echoing exactly what our secretary is saying, but giving a little bit more substance. Okay, not a problem with it at all. Now let's go back to our secretary. He's back on the scene. He's back visiting with Chuck Todd again. Let's see exactly what he's saying concerning the border, guys. Let's see what he's saying. All right. Let's see exactly what they're saying. Here we go. He's our secretary. Let's go get it.
Joining me now is the Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas. Mr. Secretary, welcome to Meet the Press.
Thank you. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning. I want to start with something Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, a Texas Democrat who represents
Texas Democrat,
South Texas. This is what he told the Washington Post yesterday. When you create a system that incentivizes people to come across and they are released, that immediately sends a message to Central America that if you come across, you can stay.
I want y'all to see exactly what that just says. This is a Texas Democrat. Don't know him at all. I've heard of him before, but I don't know him. This came from the Washington Post. When you create a system that incentivizes people to come across, and they are released, that immediately sends a message to Central America that if you come across, you can stay. That is a stark contrast of communication message that he's saying that his colleagues on his side of the aisle are actually saying. And I'm talking about our Vice President and our Secretary of Homeland Security. Okay, so let's see how he actually responds to one of his colleagues saying this.
I understand the on humanitarian grounds, the policy change on unaccompanied minors here. Are you concerned that a market efficiency has been created where folks have decided, look, my kid's got a shot at getting in the United States if I don't go with them?
Chuck, our message has been straightforward and simple, and it's true. The border is closed.
Same thing. He's saying the exact same thing. The border is closed. Again, I'm kind of confused because his colleague is saying something totally different than what he's saying. But let's keep going.
We are expelling families. We are expelling single adults. And we've made a decision that we will not expel young, vulnerable children.
He said the exact same thing in the prior video as well, okay? Similar to it.
I think we are executing on our plans, and quite frankly, when we are finished doing so, the American public will look back on this and say we secured our border and we upheld our values and our principles as a nation. So he's really sticking to his message that he communicated initially before, okay, on ABC. And saying the exact same thing, okay?
How can you say the border is closed if there is this, what some would look at as a loophole? And I understand on humanitarian grounds, but if the goal is to get these asylum seekers to seek the asylum in home country, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, for instance, how do you get them to do that if our policy is to let them in at the border?
Good question.
So, Chuck, we have a short-term plan, a medium-term plan, and a long-term plan, and the president and I have spoken to this repeatedly. Please remember something, that President Trump dismantled the orderly.
Now we're going back to President Trump. What's the short term, medium term, and long term plan? We still ain't got no details. What's the plan? He keeps saying he needs some more time. Okay. But what's the plan?
Really humane and efficient way of allowing children to make their claims under United States law in their home countries.
Okay.
He dismantled the Central American Minors Program. So we are rebuilding those orderly and safe processes as quickly as possible. But in the meantime, we will not expel into the Mexican desert, for example, 3 orphan children whom I saw over the last 2 weeks. We just won't do that. That's not who we are.
Okay, I understand that. Is this current policy, though, sustainable? Or are you concerned that the word will go out and you'll get unaccompanied minors from all over the world trying to come to our southern border?
Good question, Chuck.
Well, it doesn't work that way, Chuck. The system is a complex one. But let me just say that we are operating on parallel tracks.
So now the system is complex. You say you have a plan. Okay, got a plan. All right. You said it's a short-term, mid-term, and then long-term plan. Then I hear you kind of go back on talking to about President Trump, what he did in the prior administration, and then you talk about expelling kids. I think no one is in favor of expelling kids. Okay, but I still have not heard a plan. What is the plan? He keeps saying he needs some time. Now, Karine Jean-Pierre, our press secretary, she gives some additional details, but I still don't have a clear-cut plan to curtail what's going on.
We are safely processing the children who do come to our border. We strongly urge, and the message is clear, not to do so now. I cannot overstate the perils of the journey that they take. And regrettably, I am all too aware of the tragedies that have occurred and continue to occur along that journey. But in the meantime and in parallel, we are rebuilding those orderly systems, both in Mexico, in close partnership with the Mexican government, and in the countries of Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, so that they, in fact, do not need to take that dangerous journey.
So come back to me. So what I kind of hear our secretary actually saying, he's saying the exact same thing. I'm not going to repeat it. I still have not heard a plan yet. I keep hearing we are rebuilding. So the question I have to ask is, okay, he keeps saying a certain portion of our immigration system, although it is complex, I got to agree to him, it is kind of complex, it really is. My question is this here, is did it need to be rebuilt? And is this rebuilding curtailing the migrants coming through? Because he keeps coming back to the standpoint is our border is secured, our border is closed, do not come. But his Democrat counterpart in Texas is saying that's not the case. And so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. It's not making any sense. Now that we actually have kind of unpacked, and I'm trying to be as honest as I can, it doesn't make sense to me right now because their statements are conflicting their previous statements. That's literally what's happening. And so now here we go. So you heard the messaging from officials within the Biden administration. Okay, now we got another question. Does the local officials agree? Do the local officials agree with the Biden administration? These are boots on the ground, people that are actually there, okay, every day. Do they agree with the messaging that the Biden administration is actually saying? Let's go and actually see if this is the fact. So there was a video that actually came out, this is a while ago, of border agents actually coming and they're talking about this here. This was on Fox, okay? And these are border Border Patrol agents currently, and I want you to listen to what they're actually saying, okay? And you let me know if this actually agrees with the messaging that the Biden administration is saying. These are boots on the ground, okay? On the ground. Here we go.
Are flaring as the migrant crisis intensifies here in the U.S. New video capturing Border Patrol agents confronting the Border Patrol chief over President Biden's immigration policies. Bill Malugin is in La Jolla, Texas, with all the details for us. Good to see you, Bill.
See what Bill says.
Hey, Jackie, good afternoon to you. So that video happened yesterday. This was when DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was visiting Border Patrol agents in Laredo, Texas. And during that meeting, Border Patrol agents in Laredo got into a heated back and forth with their boss, U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz. They let him know they're not happy with what's going on, and a Border Patrol source leaked me that video. Take a look.
Interesting. Okay, what did he say?
I'm doing this job as long as y'all.
That's the problem.
What's that?
That's the problem, Chief. For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's
I can't hear you.
For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's exactly what's happening here. Good men are doing nothing. You're allowing illegal aliens to be dropped off in communities.
You are doing something.
No, sir, we're not.
Wow.
Meanwhile, earlier this morning,
guys, come back to me real quickly, guys. You just actually heard that Border Patrol saying that they're doing nothing. What you just saw that Border Patrol agent actually said, he was actually talking to his chief. And the chief is saying, you're doing something. He's like, no, we're not. You're allowing illegal immigrants to just cross over the border. These are boots on the ground that directly conflicts with the Biden administration's messaging. That directly conflicts that, guys. Okay? All right, let's keep going, guys. There was also another video of our secretary actually talking about this again, and he was actually kind of confronted, I do believe, by some agents. All right, let's see exactly what's going on here, so we can. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to confirm if the boots on the ground are in lockstep agreements with the Biden administration concerning their plan. Okay, the plan. All right, the plan. I keep hearing the plan. Let's see. Here we go.
Exclusively.
It's unsustainable. These numbers cannot continue. We cannot get to a point where we were a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. We're looking at the policy options. We can't continue like this. Our people in the field can't continue, and our system isn't built for it. I know very well, hearing from Chief Hastings, Chief Ortiz, and others, how close we came to breaking, how close you came to breaking here in this sector. And it's our responsibility to make sure that never happens again. We don't get that close again.
Okay, now we got some problems now, because now we have our current Department of Homeland Security Secretary directly conflicting with what he said initially in those two interviews that he had with ABC and NBC. He's directly conflicted that. He's directly saying that they came close to failing. He's directly conflicted at 100%. So I'm confused. I'm literally confused about what's going on, because it doesn't make sense. Boots on the ground are saying no. That's what they're saying. This is coming directly from the Border Patrol agents themselves. So we got a problem now. A divided house cannot stand. It cannot stand at all. And right now, it seems to be like it's pretty divided. All right, guys. Also, guys, let's actually go. The one thing about it is what's going on in these cities, the cities themselves. Okay, the mayors. What are they actually saying about what's going on? Are they in agreement with what the Biden administration is actually saying? Are they in agreement with it? Let's just see. Here is the mayor of El Paso, okay, on ABC, getting interviewed concerning what's going on. I want you to pay attention to what he actually said. He's a nonpartisan mayor. That's what it actually says about him. All right, here we go.
Oscar Leeser, Mr. Mayor, thank you for joining us. The numbers that we're seeing, that you saw Maria speaking about 1,300 migrants a day coming to your city. Describe for us the challenge. Do you have the resources you need to deal with this?
Well, the numbers are not 1,300. The numbers are, 2 days ago we had almost 2,000. We had a little bit over 1,900. Yesterday we had.
So the number is not even accurate. ABC is saying 1,300. Boots on the ground, the mayor of El Paso is saying nearly 2,000, 1,900 to 2,000. So we don't know our numbers now. Okay.
The day before yesterday, we had a little bit over 1,500. So the numbers have been continuing to increase, and you know that's continued the rise, and that's because a lot of the people, and probably about 80% of them, are coming from Venezuela, and that's where a big part of the migrant surge is coming from.
And you've seen the reports, and we've seen directly the border patrol dropping migrants off on the streets of El Paso. Do you have a sense that the Biden administration has a plan for how to address this?
Good question.
Well, and you know, and that's really something important. And I have a great, incredible working relationship with Chief Chavez from the Border Patrol, and our goal, and it will continue to be our goal, is never to drop anybody off in the streets of El Paso, and make sure that no one's homeless, no one's hungry. So we have our NGOs, which is non-governmental organizations, that really have opened up their doors, and we've gotten hotels. And in the last few days, we've not had any people released into the streets of El Paso, and we'll continue to work that way. So, you know, it's been an incredible working relationship between El Paso, the city of El Paso, and also the Chief Chavez and the Border Patrol. I spent about 2-3 hours yesterday driving the border and talking to a lot of the migrants and talking to the Border Patrol agents that really are down here working today. And if you drive through the streets right now, there's no one on the street today. And we'll continue to make sure that we find them a home and continue to work with them. So it seems like what the mayor of El Paso is saying is, because it was a direct question asked by ABC, and they asked him, do you think that number one, the numbers were not accurate? So ABC had 1,300, he was saying around 2,000. So that's a pretty big difference there. So we got to make sure we get our numbers right. Number two, he actually asked concerning the plan. Do you just believe that the Biden administration actually has a plan? Notice the mayor didn't say anything about a plan with the Biden administration. He talked about the Border Patrol. And so it sounds like El Paso, boots on the ground, figured out a plan on their own with the Border Patrol to kind of curtail this a little bit more themselves. So I noticed that as well also. So even the media is asking, what's the plan? Just we still don't have a plan. We had some details that Karine Jean-Pierre talked about, but we're going to see if this actually working here in a second. Okay. Now, guys, I know this is a lot of video, but I don't want to give you my opinion alone. I want to look at what they actually said. Okay. The facts. All right. Now, let's go over to another guy. This is the mayor of Del Rio, Texas. I believe he is a Democrat, I believe, and that's fine. And I'm wrong with that at all, period. But I want you to hear exactly what he says concerning about what's going on as well also. All right, here he goes.
Large groups with some children crossing the Rio Grande into Del Rio, Texas. But Biden administration officials insist the border right there where those people are just walking across, that's not open, that's closed.
Interesting.
Not kidding, watch.
The border is closed. We are expelling single adults
and
families under the Title 42 authority that rests with the Center for Disease Control. We decided as an administration that we will not expel unaccompanied children.
Same message.
We knew that. Here with reaction, the mayor of Del Rio, Texas, Bruno Lozano. Mayor, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay, but I'm a little puzzled because the secretary right there said the border is closed, and yet very clearly the border is not closed. You're on the other side. Is the border closed?
Boots on the ground.
I would very much disagree with that statement.
Wow.
The way that it's been handling or being managed is seems to be wide open for unlawful entry into the United States.
Wow.
Okay. And you've got a problem because a lot of those people are coming into your town. You've reached out to the administration for help, and what have they told you?
They keep telling us that the border's under control, and I simply do not understand how, with a 393% increase this fiscal year alone, last year we had...
He said 393%. 393% increase this year alone. That is crazy. What's the plan? Is that the plan, to increase the numbers? This is someone on the same side of the aisle of the Biden administration. He's disagreeing with the messaging and the plan.
We had 19,724 captures at this point.
Jesus.
And right now we're at 97,398. I simply do not understand how that's under control.
Yeah, no.
Here's my question. The boots on the ground have more accurate numbers than the Biden administration or even the media. My man reading these numbers. My man reading these numbers, bro. He reading these numbers for real. He know what's going on.
No kidding. Mayor, do you remember the old days? You've been down in Del Rio for a while. Remember the old days when the Border Patrol would be on one side, the American side of the border, and migrants will be coming over, and they just go, hey, stop, turn around, go home. If a Border Patrol agent said that these days, they'd probably get fired because the administration clearly wants people across.
It appears that there's a different approach to immigration, either with lack of personnel to actually patrol on the ground. And you see the video of 52 persons in that video that was shown the other day. It's happening here in my community.
He's saying that it seems to be a plan of there should be a lack of personnel to be on the border securing it. This is what the mayor of Del Rio is saying. He's on the border. It's his town.
Sure. And the number one priority of the Biden administration from the get-go has been COVID, trying to get the transmission rates down and things like that. We've been talking about it every day because it's a global pandemic. But here's the thing. As those people approach the United States, how many of those people are actually being allowed into the country but are not being tested for COVID? They could be bringing COVID in.
Okay.
And that's one of the things you have been very concerned with. And you've asked the federal government for help. And what have they told you?
What they say?
It's very peculiar because Americans, to come back into the country from foreign destinations, you have to have a negative COVID-19 test up to 72 hours prior to your flight.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you have persons entering unlawfully that have no COVID testing, and the Department of Homeland Security was administering those tests. But they've recently called me, Dr. Eastman recently called me and told me that DHS can no longer legally administer those tests and are trying to collaborate with the city of Del Rio so that we can continue their testing on their behalf. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. There's obviously no plan of action. It's being paid for by FEMA, which is our...
Now you're hearing the Del Rio mayor, same person, he's on the same aisle as the Biden administration, is saying that there's no plan in place. These are boots on the ground. Boots on the ground, guys. This is what he's saying.
Our tax dollars for natural disaster.
Wow.
And I simply do not understand how illegal crossing is considered a natural disaster for FEMA funding. So,
wow. Now he's saying that illegal crossings, good God, is considered a natural disaster for FEMA funding. So he's talking about FEMA is funding this now. FEMA. This is crazy town, guys. So let me get this straight. I keep hearing we have a plan, a short-term, mid-term, and long-term plan by Secretary of Homeland Security. Okay. And I keep hearing us echo the exact same talking points. Kareem Jean-Pierre went into a little bit of more detail, a little substance on what they were doing, but both of them really blamed the prior administration. And then I said, okay, no problem. So then we went to the boots on the ground. And you have the El Paso mayor, mayor. And then you have the Border Patrol agents themselves, and even our secretary conflicted his own self, and the Del Rio mayor directly saying they have no plan, and also they classified illegal crossings as a natural disaster or emergency, and FEMA began funding this stuff as far as the testing. These are boots on the ground, guys. Boots on the ground. Okay? Boots on the ground. So I would say, all right, guys, that's a lot to kind of unpack. Now let's do this here, guys. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, let's look at the numbers real fast. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's go through these numbers real fast here. All right, guys. And you know me, I'm going to bring these numbers up real quickly, guys. Let me get to it. Boom. Now we're going to go to the Border Patrol website real quickly here. Let's go back over here real fast. Boom, boom. Here we go. All right, guys. Let's look at the numbers real quickly here. All right, real quickly. Let's see. This is the U.S. Border Patrol Southwest Border apprehensions by sector. This is, let's make it a little bigger so you can see what's going on. All right. This says that we can make it a little bigger, guys. Let me see real fast. There we go. Let's make it a little bigger, guys. All right. Let's see what it actually says. It says, boom. Get a little bigger, guys. My bad, guys. My bad, guys. It's not doing it right. So what I see here is this here. It says Southwest Border unaccompanied children, 0 to 17 encounters. This is FY20 March. This is Big Bend. These are I believe cities. I believe these are cities. Okay, cities. Okay, 240. All right. At FY21, 845. Look at the numbers. 11.6. Del Rio, 11.66. 34.31. Then look at the percentage. 233%. 194. 46%. In El Centro. 232%. El Paso. Laredo, 27%. Rio Grande, 230%. San Diego, 82. Tucson, 83. Yuma, 237. It says the total border, 163%. That is crazy town. That is crazy town, guys. I don't know what to even. That's crazy, guys. That's really crazy. Let's make it a little bigger again. I want you to see what's going on. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Let's go down here. Southwest Border Family Unit encounters. Okay, it's the FY20 and FY21. This is Southwest Border Family. This is family units. Okay, 62% increase. Del Rio 138. El Centro 18. El Paso 4%. Laredo 165. Rio Grande 489%. That's crazy. San Diego went down minus 4%. Tucson minus 53% went down. Yuma 242%. Okay. The total is 128%. That is crazy. Let's see here. You have Southwest Border single adult encounters. Okay, this is FY20 and FY21. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Big Bend, 3,000 to 14,000. That's a 365% increase. Del Rio, 11,000 to 53,000. That's 388%. This is exactly what the mayor was actually saying. El Centro, 9,000 to 21,000, 119%. This is ridiculous. El Paso, 14,000, 53,000. That's a 263% uptick. Laredo, 19K, 50K, 153%, 154%. Look at this, 31 to 86,000, 176%. San Diego, 19,000, 50,000 to 152%. Look at this, Tucson, 21,000, 68,000, 223%. Yuma, 1,700 to 11,000, 540%. The total is 29%. In FY20, it was 132,000. That I ain't gonna lie to you, that's still a lot, but it upticked to 410,000 in 1 year. That's crazy town. That is ridiculous, guys. That doesn't make any sense. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Come on. What's the plan? It's the plan. It was the plan to allow for more to come across. What's the plan? It doesn't make any sense to me. It just seems like the plan was to increase the number of people coming across. That seems to be the plan. That's what it looks like. The short term, the midterm, and long term plan. So what Karine Jean-Pierre was actually saying, that ain't reflecting here at all. It's inviting people in. It seemed to shake hands with the Texas colleague in Texas, saying that when you incentivize crossings, more are going to come. The numbers are shaking hands with the Texas representative and the Del Rio mayor and the El Paso mayor and the Border Patrol agents. Let's keep going, guys. I have another chart. I have another chart, as my man said would say. My man said would say, let's quantify that, man. Let's quantify that. Here we go, guys. Let's go here. Here's another chart. This is from Statista. This is Southern Border Apprehensions at an all-time high. Let's make it bigger for people. You can see what's going on. All right, I want you to see exactly what's going on. All right, let's see what's going down, y'all. All right, here we go. Let's go to this chart. Here's the chart, guys. It says Southern Border Apprehensions at an all-time high. Number of apprehensions of undocumented immigrants, that means illegal immigrants, at U.S. southern border, southwestern border by national origin, 1999 to 2021. So let's see what's going on here. All right, look at it. All right, let's see. All right, let's see what's going on, guys. Here we go. That's better. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So 1999, it was 1.5. It was still high. Okay, high, no problem. 2001, it began going down. 03 went down. Okay. 05 went up. And then 07, during the Obama years, it went down. It went down significantly during Obama years. It really did. Yeah. Okay, no problem. It went up a little bit in 2014, no problem. Went down in 2015. Obama stayed in office. Trump gets elected. He's right there. Okay, it went down a little bit. Then it went up in 2019. Why that went up? Went up. Then he rebounded, went down. It went down significantly in 2020. And then 2021, it goes higher than any other time in this time frame, 1999, 2001. That's crazy town. So I gotta say, guys, to be honest with you, their plan is not working unless this is the plan. All right, guys, come to me, guys. I know I've given you guys a lot of video, guys. So thank you for hanging out with me. Here are my thoughts on the border. It ain't secure. By no means. Not at all. Not because I said so. The numbers say something different. It's wide open. The numbers have spiked. Even the boots on the ground are agreeing with the fact that the numbers have spiked. We have no security at all. All right. None. We have an open, guys. Really, we have kind of open borders, to be honest with you. We really do, guys. And the moves that the Biden administration has actually made has actually, as their colleague said, the Texas congressman said, it has incentivized people to actually come across. Let's be honest with you. So, Dale, all right, what is the counter move? What's the counter move? What's the solution, Dale? Okay, when I ran for public office, guys, I actually had a thing that I actually wanted to do. I actually wanted to see if I could actually, curtail this by Texas actually having their own Border Patrol, Homeland Security with the power to deport. Okay. All right. So here's the first question. Here's the first thing to it. It says, what can the local state do to solve this problem? Well, my solution actually sounded pretty cool because my whole thing was, hey, what if we actually formulate our own Homeland Security with our own Border Patrol with the power to deport? That sounds great, but there's a problem with that whole premise. The Supreme Court has said that the border issue is a federal issue, not a state issue. So that cuts the state off at the knees. Okay. And even if a police officer a sheriff, a constable, a Texas Department of Public Safety, personal state trooper in any of the states, if they were to take a illegal immigrant, take them over the border, okay, and place them back in Mexico, they could be taken to jail for kidnapping. They really can. So what can the states do to solve this problem? To be honest with you guys, it's going to be a PR issue. What Governor Abbott is doing, what El Paso's doing as well. The El Paso mayor says he's doing this as well also. What Arizona's doing, what the Arizona governor's doing, Governor Ducey, as well as Governor DeSantis in Florida, basically busing and flying them into those cities. That's all. It's the only thing they can really do, guys, because they can't deport them. They can't. Even when it comes to, they can arrest them, which is what they've been doing. But if there's not enough room in the jails, guys, what actually happens is they have to let them out. Gotta let them out. And so the state troopers would actually pull up to the jail. And I know this because one of my good friends was on the board as a state trooper. Pull up to the jail and say, hey, we got some people to drop off who we arrested because they crossed illegally. If there's not enough room in the jail, they'll say there's no room. They have to take them to the take them to the gas or something, and then just let them go. Just let them go. Just let them go, guys, and hopefully they come back for their court date. That's so the only quiver in the tool belt of the states is the public relations, the PR stuff. Is it a political stunt? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Them shipping illegal immigrants to other places. That's all they have, because the Supreme Court has correctly, it really has correctly done that. It's really correctly said that, hey, that's federal. So now they can say that it's a state of emergency. That's what states can do. But how does that protect them? I don't know. It really does not at all. Here's my next question, guys. What can you do? Well, I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but if this irks you, if this kind of chaps your head a little bit, you may want to begin asking more pointed questions to these candidates running for these offices. I'm talking about governor, attorney general, state, local, county, and federal. Begin asking them pointed questions about border security. And don't just settle for the general question. Ask pointed questions, guys. Ask them. Ask them. Okay? And once you ask them, follow up. And really look for someone's character. Don't vote for somebody because they can speak well. Look at their character. Look at how they carry themselves. Look at if what they're saying they actually do themselves, guys. Really begin to ask them pointed questions. I do that now, and I actually ran for public office, and it's work. It's work. But that's what I would say. I would say your power is in your vote. Who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to vote for? All right, guys. Well, guys, I know this was a long one. Thank you so much for your time. I hope I added some value to you. Again, on this show, The Countermove, this is not a political show. We're going to look at the situation, look at life in a wise perspective, lean and reason together, and begin to prescribe some solutions. So again, I would say, if you want to change something, the power is in your vote. All right, guys. So I'd say get out there and vote, and take 10 people with you and go vote. All right, guys. But guys, God bless you. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And we see you next time on The Countermove. Now, before you leave, take that picture and give it to your mama now. Now holla at your partner.